Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning. Welcome to our first video for Divine Grace Yoga Ashram's Yoga Vastisha study group. We'll start here with a quick prayer. Om Sahana Vavantu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vivishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And this is just a prayer of protection and that we're both able to study together. Okay, so I want to start with sharing the text itself. We're going to be using a 2-volume set in the actual study groups. This is a picture of the 6-volume. Let me try here, new share, we're gonna go here, share. This is the picture of the 6-volume set. This is available on archive.org. So if you do a Google for archive.org and type in Swami Jyotirmayananda, his name here, it will bring you to this page. It's cool that it's in this electronic format. You can download it as a PDF. I look at it on my phone. Now, Swami Jyotirmayananda is one of the only living disciples of Swami Shivananda. And he lives in Florida and he still teaches to this day. So I wanted to just read this introduction. What is the Yoga Vastisha? Why is it so special? So let's go down here. All right. Here comes the first volume of the most awaited book, Yoga Vastisha. This was written in, well, it says 2006, but I'm sure it was before this. The most awaited book, Yoga Vastisha, the eternal wisdom imparted to Sri Rama by his guru, Sri Vastisha. It contains sublime and most inspiring teachings that ignite a blazing fire of dispassion in hearts of spiritual seekers. It's an irony that many people in India are unaware of this nectarine wisdom. Pujaya Gurudev Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda published this book long back in 1977 in USA, and only some close Indian devotees of Swamiji were fortunate to read it. Since its Indian edition was in demand, we are pleased to publish the first expected 6 volumes for all those who are really interested to get guidance from the profound wisdom of sage Vastisha. Yoga Vastisha is a rare scripture that provides insight into the nature of Brahman, purpose of one's existence, techniques of self-improvement. Original text is profound and voluminous like an ocean, but Sri Swamiji has brought out pearls and rubies of immortal wisdom for seekers of eternal truth. We are sure that reading this jewel of all scriptures will transform countless souls and lead them on the path of spiritual enlightenment. So it's a really special book here. I'll give a bit of background into how, this is Swamiji, how I came to it. We'll switch over to that. And then if we have time, we will do the preference today. So let's go to new share. Okay. So our goals here is to do an introduction, how I came to this text. We went a little bit over where to find this text, and then we'll talk about how we'll be meeting in person each week and the goals of this space. So this is Swami Premananda. I met him. We know that the Divine Grace Yoga Ashram has this mother karma. And to me, it started here. It was, this was 2015. So 5 years ago now, almost 5 years ago in April. We met Swami Premananda, and this book that he's reading is the Yoga Vastisha. Swami Premananda is a great saint. He is like the father to the whole village in Uttarkashi. It was just amazing to get to meet him and and spend some time with him. I didn't dive much into the Yoga Vasisha, but this was how I was introduced to the text. And then ever since then, I had this desire to read it. Since then, I've gone through all volumes about 2 or 3 times. I am partial to volume 4 of the 6th volume, but we'll get to that later. And I guess I'm saying I think I read that one 3 times and the others probably twice. So I just want to, well, first of all, say thank you to Swami Pramananda, who's led us here, and then thank you to our other teachers. This is on the left, it's Swami Ramaswarapananda. He was our lovely host while we were there, and Swami Shankarananda, who of course has the Divine Grace Yoga Ashram for us, and that's with my mom. They say that your first gurus are your parents, and so honoring our gurus here. And then the idea of this came first that we'd have a women's circle, and then it was like, well, how would we hold the women's circle? I just thought this was interesting, this mother karma. So here on the top, we have when all of the swamis left one night, we had this women's circle, and I found this picture while putting this together, and I felt like it was such a just a great image of women supporting women. And that seems to be one of the goals of this space, is just coming together. There's something really special and sacred about this. On the bottom, this is my mom, Saraswati in the middle, and me, and I was newly pregnant. Oh, so we were going to say mothers. I was about 8 weeks pregnant on this trip. It was 3 weeks long, so what, 8 to 11 weeks or so. And that was interesting. So there was my mom, me, baby inside, and then Saraswati, our grandmother. There was all of this motherly karma, apparently. So I just think that that's interesting. I feel like this is all part of what brought us here to this group. So the mission of the ashram. The Divine Grace Yoga Ashram is a nonprofit organization which exists solely as a service to the divine in all, providing environment, tools, and support that we may blossom to our full potential. The ashram opened March 13th of 2018. It just so happened that my family and I happened to be first guests. Well, again, I was pregnant with my second. So I'm just really happy to be here supporting this study that we all study together. And then, so specifically of this group, again, we are asked to hold a women's circle. And there was some discussion or thought of how we would do this. It seemed to be good to ground in the sacred text. So the purpose of this group is to support spiritual development through good association, study, and discussion of sacred text and sacred space. Just a little bit of the study each day is so beneficial to each one of us. Just starting the morning. The purpose of this online is that if we can't read it ourselves, we can perhaps listen on our way to work, while we're cooking, whatever it is that we're doing, just ideally 10, no more than 15 minutes, a bit of reading, and it'll really ground us for the rest of our day. All right, so we found this text, archive.org. The 2-volume set, that will be available at Ashram. They have ordered some from Swami Jyotirmayananda's ashram, and I'm not sure what the suggested donation is. I think it's like $15, but if we come on Monday nights, we'll be able to find this. Again, goals of this group: using this text as a way to ground us in truth, a small reminder each day, and women supporting women. Mondays at 5:30. I will ideally put all of this in the notes on YouTube. Please forgive me, I'm not super familiar with this platform, so all of this is going to take me time. But Divine Grace Yoga Ashram in Cottonwood, Arizona. We will have dinner, and then we'll meet in the library. If anyone hasn't been there, you'll be directed, but most people know where the library is, and it'll be a pretty informal discussion on what we read the past week, and any thoughts, impressions, these sort of things. This week, I think that we'll just be gathering to start. because we won't have done any readings over the week. But I will work on outlining readings so that we're ready to go for the following week. The online goals. So the purpose of this online presence is just to keep us on track. It's a really, really long text and it's worth it to read the whole thing. And it's easy to get distracted. So it's just really it's a devotional thing for me, and it's also an offering to any of you that need someone to be speaking as opposed to reading, so that we can just really stay grounded in this truth.